on. Okay, you heard it from me. It says it's recording. And we're gonna go to share screen. Okay. Share screen. I want you all and the nutrition. Okay, cool. We're on week 4 and on current slide. Look, Holly, I've learned so much from you. I now do it flawlessly. Okay, so everybody, welcome to week 4. You made it. We're on week 4. Oh, we got Darcy. And you guys are crushing it. I know I didn't answer any texts yet from end of last week, this weekend. I'll be getting to those. Universally, though, what you see on the screen, unless you hear differently from me, is, we got another person, is this is what we're doing. So 3 meals a day, unless you're a 4 meal a day or person. Serving of protein, serving of veggies, like half a plate serving of veggies, serving of fats, and 1 carb. 1 high, I don't know if you guys saw my post on Facebook today, 1 high GI carb serving a day. That does not mean take out squash and veggies and fruits and berries. This just means 1 serving of a high GI carb, which is anything processed. So, or a sweet potato, rice, regular potato, waffles. Let's rethink bread. Let's have that chat in a minute for those of you that do toast or waffles in the morning. And I'm thinking, when do you most crave a carb? Are you a lunch crave a carb person, or are you a dinner crave a carb person? Because that's going to be your like 35 to 45 grams serving of a carb, which for most of you is actually like pretty large of a serving. It's an entire cup of rice. It's an entire, like if you take a larger sweet potato, it's an entire half of that sweet potato. So plus veggies, plus fat, plus protein for that meal. On workout days, I also want you eating a higher GI carb with a pre or post workout shake. So because we're expending so many calories on those days, I need you to also refuel and make sure we are still eating enough. That's also very important. I'm going to skip to the next slide because it's going to detail this a little bit more. My computer arrows don't want to work, so this is fun. There we go. Okay. Slide this guy out of the way so all of you can see it. Okay, so I detailed this. Annie, you look stressed. Your hands on your head.
Sorry. I'm good.
I detailed this by color coding it so we could understand. Obviously, if you don't work out at 6 a.m., well, I shouldn't say obviously, but if you don't work out at 6 a.m., this before workout is movable. 2, if you are a person who likes a pre-workout carb protein intake, fantastic. You eat it then. If you are someone who likes the post snack, eat it then, post-workout. This could be mid-afternoon. This could be after work. This could be at any point in your day when you work out. Just make sure you're getting that 4th meal serving of protein and carbs in on days you're working out. Okay, let's talk about, I'm pretty sure some of you will have questions about breakfast for those of you that are either like a waffle or bread, or I'm trying to think of what else, like banana, that's a high GI carb, lots of fruits in the morning with a protein and with a fat. So if you are one of those people, I'm going to tell you right now that I still want you eating some carbs in the morning because that's fast energy. So if you're a person that has Ezekiel bread with eggs and avocado in the morning, keep your slice of Ezekiel bread, please. If you are someone that likes a banana plus other things, just watch how many carbs you're eating. So if you're someone who likes a ton of berries and a banana, think about cutting the banana in half and then still keeping that whole cup of berries in your smoothie. If we are really hungry because we're taking out some carbs, can anyone guess what I want you to do? Anybody?
Water,
Protein.
More protein.
protein.
Points. Okay. Add more protein. So add another egg, add more egg whites, add some chicken or turkey breakfast sausage. I love breakfast sausage. Chicken or turkey though, pork is really, really high in fat. And then it discounts the amount of protein you're actually eating because there's so many calories. If you are starving though, your plate should still be full. Because I'm talking like cook some veggies in the morning, have some eggs, have some chicken sausage, and have a slice of Ezekiel bread. That still sounds like a big plate of food to me. Put some Parmesan cheese on your egg. Like, we're not taking away taste. I'm not taking away things that taste good. We're just, keep in mind, we're on this program now, and we're now down to our 4th week. After this week, you have 2 more weeks to go. And honestly, the last week, we're not cutting anything out. I'm going to start adding foods back in because I do not want to leave you guys on a deficit where you're like, holy crap, what do I do now? And then start gaining weight back. So these next 2 weeks are going to be the weeks where you're like, oh, this is difficult and this might suck because you might have carb cravings. And if those happen, I want you to email me so I see it right away and it doesn't sit in the app. And we're gonna brainstorm things so you're not feeling starving all the time. And maybe you're someone who thrives better with more carbs and less fats, or you thrive with more fat and less carb. I can tell you, I could take out fats probably all day long, but not carbs, because my energy will just like plummet. Anyone have questions on this?
I'm confused.
I like that question.
Because you said no carbs and then you said bread. So because it's the Ezekiel, that's the difference? Or what?
Yeah, so Ezekiel bread is like tons of grains, high in protein, and is pretty like, it's not filled with like sugar and as many processed ingredients. I'm also not putting you guys, like, I refuse to put everybody on a basically like restrictive diet plan. That's not how I operate. So Ezekiel bread is like one of the cleanest forms of bread that you can find without it being processed. But you could also eat part of a sweet potato in the morning. Like, I don't want you to eat no carbs is what I'm saying. Besides,
So, Emily, this Ezekiel bread, this famous Ezekiel bread, compares to Dave's bread. How?
Dave's bread, is that what you eat?
Yeah, like the thin sliced ones.
Let me.
Kind of dig it.
Do you dig it?
I do dig it.
You said at any point in time, have you sent me a nutrition label on it? Can I? Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're like little thin sliced. They're not big.
Yeah. Let's go and see.
I'll send you a nutrition.
Yeah, send me the nutrition label.
Okay.
Send me the questions because I have to check everyone's weigh-in weight from last week too. So when I'm doing that and getting back to you guys tonight, why don't you send me the questions when you get off this call? Is this okay or is this not okay? So I see it literally tonight and can say yes or no.
Yeah, I thought the Dave stuff, I read something about like comparing different types of sprouted
Grains.
things, and I thought Dave's was one of them, but I may be wrong. I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing. I can't eat wheat. So I have to look at it from what you guys eat, because otherwise I don't eat it. And I probably haven't heard of it.
Got it. Okay.
Because I can't have gluten. So I honestly, if you just send me the label, I'll be able to tell you.
That's so cute. You're like, I've never heard of it. That's funny.
Okay, so basically what we're doing is we are still taking some carbs out, but what I'm doing is if you're hungry, I'm saying increase that protein, increase the amount of vegetables you're eating, because we're still focusing on whole foods, but I'm not taking everything away. So say Dave, So say Dave's bread is really, I don't even know the nutrition label on it, but say Dave's bread is higher, like we'll say 35 grams of carbs for 2 slices. I'll probably just tell you to have 1 slice and then have more vegetables in your meal. So your volume of your meal is bigger, but we're not completely taking out bread. Does that make sense?
Another question, the workout day, if
Yeah.
you, is this like, you got on the bike and did some cardio and, or, obviously if we go work out with you, that's a workout day. And so what is a workout day?
Yeah. If you're doing a workout on your bike, Beth, that's like, you're doing like sprints, you're doing hills, you're doing all that sort of stuff. And we're going to say like, 25 to 30 minutes. And then anything past that, let's call that a workout.
Okay,
It's the expenditure of calories, because I want you in a calorie deficit.
right, okay,
To lose weight. But you also need fuel and you need energy. And I don't want you angry. So it's kind of like finding that balance. If you feel like your workout was a hard workout, was a good workout, then have the protein shake with some additional carbs that day. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. Okay, moving to this next slide. So how is everybody doing on water? And if we're not doing great, I would love to hear some feedback on what has helped everybody with their water intake so it can give others ideas. I'm going to move this. We're going to talk about spices in a second.
I rock it with a hot tea at night, and that helps me think. Like sometimes I pretend it's wine. I really don't. But hot tea at night is, I drink like 3 cups, and so it's not a lot, but 8, maybe 10 ounces each. So that's 30 more ounces of water that I might not drink if it were ice water.
Mm-hmm.
I also dig in the limoncello LaCroix seltzer.
Oh my God.
Dig in it.
That sounds awesome. Okay.
Yeah, my favorite.
How's everyone else doing with water intake? Are we getting at least half our body weight in ounces of water a day? Kathy goes, no. I saw your head shake.
I think I am. Because often I forget to count things like tea and seltzer and stuff, because I think of my water as my blue Hydro Flask, so
Yeah.
I think I've got at least 60. So I think I probably get another 20 out of that.
Okay.
Those other things.
Water is so underestimated. Water really helps remove and flush out toxins from the body. So being hydrated is really going to help. If you wake up, I would just try and get most of your water in before 6 p.m. so you're not waking up all the time at night to pee. When I drink tea before I go to bed, I generally have to pee. So it's a hard balance. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. But I can tell you firsthand, if you go to bed hydrated and wake up and weigh yourself, your weight will be lower than if you go to bed dehydrated and weigh yourself the next morning. Because your body is going to be puffy, your body is going to swell, you are dehydrated, your body doesn't like that. If you go to bed hydrated, you pee it all out in the morning, flush it all out, your weight's going to be lower. Kind of like if you I'm boiling water on the stove and it's overflowing. So you all are coming with me. If you drink the weekend and then weigh yourself on a Monday, your body's really bloated and probably hungover, number one, but all of those extra calories you consumed makes, number one, you consumed extra calories, but that's not what brings your weight up. It's all the inflammation and going off routine and the dehydration. So that's why it's always like, okay, give your body, 2 to 3 days and then weigh yourself. And then that's going to be accurate again.
One thing I've found to be helpful with water drinking is like when I'm waiting to make my tea in the morning, I
Mhm.
try to drink at least half of my flask full of water, just waiting. I mean, just kind of make it a thing that I do, like a focus
I
instead
love
of,
that.
yeah, so.
I think that's a great input, Beth. I always do that too. If you're a coffee drinker, try and drink a full glass of water in the morning before you have your coffee, because coffee is dehydrating. Okay, enough. I know you guys have heard me talk about water all the time. Spices and everything. So spices are fantastic. Again, I don't want you guys to feel like there are all these things you can't eat. I want you to feel more like this has opened the doors to all these fresh, whole food things, new recipes, things you can eat. So we want to look at it in the light of, oh, I get to eat all these things, not, oh, I don't get to eat any of these things anymore. So just some quick little fun facts about spices. If you're an oatmeal person in the morning, cinnamon in your oatmeal. I love that. It's a really great way to put that in. Kind of a fun fact about cumin, helps with blood fats and cholesterol. Cayenne pepper, if you like things a little spicy. Salt is not bad for you. Something we talked about previous weeks, it is not bad for you. It's really good for you, actually. It's only bad in large amounts, or if you're eating like, like bagged and processed foods. Otherwise, salt is a really great addition to what you're cooking, obviously, and adds great flavor. Anyone have any questions on these things? While we are on the food topic, I want to go ahead and, was it Beth? I'm not sure. Someone brought this typo to my attention in the book. If you
I'm
go,
a frustrated editor.
if you go to the berry smoothie section in your book, it says a phase 4 berry protein smoothie. You would take out, I made an error. You would take out the 1/4 cup dry oats. And that's supposed to be 1 scoop of protein. The oats are supposed to be gone. The protein is supposed to stay. And then 1 cup of protein, and I'm going to say 1 cup of Greek yogurt. So we're going to add an and to the berry protein smoothie in both cases. So add yogurt and protein. So you're getting around 30 grams of protein per smoothie. And that should really hold you over, along with some honey, nut butter, and milk and berries. Now you're getting carbs from honey and berries. You're getting protein from yogurt and protein powder, and you're getting fats from nut butter. So you're still getting all the things, all the macros. Okay, awesome. I want to just talk about stress real quick. So I know some of you reviewed this with me last week, but again, if you're stressed out, these are all the ways that it's going to affect your body and your ability to help and aid your fat loss if that is your goal. It also makes it really hard to build muscle. Stress hormones are really powerful hormones. They increase a lot of things. They disrupt a lot of things like sleep. So the two things, if you were to take away anything from today, the two most underestimated things regarding and surrounding fat loss are how many hours of sleep are you getting per night and how much water are you drinking. If those two things can't be under control, your goals, whichever they are, fat loss or muscle gain, are really going to plateau. So oftentimes doing the work behind the stress, behind the sleep disruptor, is then going to aid you in the long run with fat loss. It's not always just about food. Any questions on that? Okay. Moving on. There's nothing, no questions. We talked about water. I've talked about, some of these are review from last week. So if you've seen these before, this is why. However, I did want to review because I did not have everybody last week. So macros, protein, fats, and carbs, all important to have at each meal. I know I'm decreasing your carbs. That is a harder thing about fat loss or weight loss. Carbs hold on to water. Carbs hold body water weight. So the more carbs you take out of your diet, the less you will weigh because they no longer are holding that water within your body. They expand as soon as you digest them. So that's when people like automatically, like if they go on a crash diet and take out carbs, oh, I lost 5 pounds in 1 week. That's why. It's literally just because they stopped eating carbs. It's like, and they lost that water weight. It's not because they lost 5 pounds of fat. There's just a misconception there. I just want you guys to be aware of. So as you add back in carbs with me slowly towards the end of this, your weight may go up by 1 or 2 pounds, but then as you keep those carbs in your diet, you will even out and then start to go back down. That is normal. Any questions about carb intake? Carbs are fast energy. That's why we eat them pre or post workout. They also help you not be dizzy if you're someone who gets dizzy while you work out. Fats are stored. Fats are energy for later. Okay. Oh my God. That was everything I had. Before I open up the room, I was talking to one of you earlier today on our check-ins, and she brought something really great to my attention. I am going to be sharing with you a few recipes that are not straightforward in the book. I know I put some suggestions without recipes, so I'm going to share recipes for those. So like a turkey burger, I'm going to share a really great recipe for a turkey burger that I like. You can also pick up turkey burgers at Trader Joe's in the frozen section. Keep them in your freezer just to pull out if needed. Sheet pan boneless chicken thigh and asparagus. I'm going to throw a recipe in for that. And then rosemary and sage pork tenderloin with broccoli. I'll also be posting a recipe for that one. So those are all in phase 3, which is technically, I've not really moved us to phase 4 yet. And just so most of you know, there is a phase 6 in this book. And unless you have extreme reasons as to why you want to lose weight fast, I am not moving anybody to phase 6 because that is 0 carbs. And I don't think that's healthy.
Okay, may I?
Yeah.
Yet again.
Yes.
This weekend is Easter.
Yes, it is.
And I have some company coming over. Now, normally we eat pretty well, we cook, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but I do have a bit of a Easter candy habit. I haven't bought myself any because I understand that if I buy it now, I will eat it now.
Okay.
But do you have any pointers about like stuff to eat? I mean, obviously don't eat a ton of candy, but just, holiday eating things obviously can get a little tricky.
Yeah. This is probably a great question for everybody too. I would say don't try to not eat anything. Does that make sense? Allow yourself to have some. Because otherwise, you guys know what you're going to do. And after nobody's around and everybody's in bed, you're going to have some anyways. Beth's like, no, I mean, never. So allow yourself when other people are eating it, have a cookie, have a Rice Krispie treat, have your favorite, you guys with the eggs, what are they called? The Cadbury mini eggs. Have your have a few Cadbury mini eggs. Because again, this is like going out to dinner. You're gonna have dinner plans. You're gonna have to figure out how to balance these things in your life anyways. So allow yourself to have them so you don't deprive yourself of them and then binge later on.
It's gonna mess up our carb thing, right? I mean, a lot of times, there's potatoes and, they usually are done somehow, not just, I mean, I was thinking it through, and so I was thinking, okay, so I really like roasted veggies, so we'll just do roasted veggies instead of like, potatoes with cheese and all that good stuff in them. But like, what about, I don't know. I guess I know the answers to these questions. I'm just thinking about.
What I would say is, I think it's a great question. What I would say is, if you guys are having family over and people are making potatoes with cheese and different casserole dishes, take a plate and give yourself small, if you want to try, I'm someone who likes to try everything. Give yourself small little servings of everything. And it's like if you were to go out to dinner and still have the carb and the veggie and the steak. And it's just that one meal, one day. And I'm going to say this, one meal and some candy is not going to mess up the progress of 1 week. So have the meal, try the food you want to try, have some candy, but keep breakfast and lunch the same as normal. And that's just balance. That's just balance. That's what I would also say in any other circumstance too. Any other
I'm
questions?
feeling for you, Beth, for sure, because we got our delivery of Girl Scout cookies last week.
Oh my
Anybody
God.
else? Mhm.
Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, they showed right up. I ordered those things long before this program started, and they came. They showed up, and my kids were eating the cookies. I had a cookie. I had another cookie. Might have had a third cookie, but I didn't let myself have any when I was alone. I'm like, I can only eat them around people. This
Oh,
is the
that's
thing. We're
good.
enjoying the Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mint, coconut one. These gluten-free ones are gross, Mom. You should try it. Okay, so I tried one, and and so I did it. But that was my commitment. Don't eat them alone. Just eat them when the kids are
That's
eating them, and it
a
helped.
great commitment. I like it.
And I didn't beat myself up for it. It was Girl Scout cookie season. I had a great day of eating and drinking water and not wine. So I was like, I can have a damn cookie or 4 or 5. And I did. And I'm okay. Totally okay. Yeah, I didn't have them the next day. I wrapped them up and assigned them to the kids and said, get these out of here. And that was the end of it. But that helped. So that's like Easter, right? And the candy's around and then it's not. So I think you can do it, Beth. I know you can.
I think I can do it. I've got chocolate covered Oreos. I'm just going to share the little, like really special little ones that have like cute little things on them. And I usually put them out like on the table for people, so if every plate has one. And I only bought enough to put out on the table for everyone to take one, and not enough for me to have extras. Because dang, those things are good, but that's just like a giant hunk of chocolate. So
Yeah.
I'll post a picture of them.
Do that.
You can all enjoy my obsession with those weird little cookies.
If you guys are struggling with something, or you're just like, this is what I'm dealing with, is anyone else dealing with it? Please post it. Because it's not just you, like it is also everybody else.
Yeah.
Please post it. Yeah, it'd be very helpful. But Holly, I think that was great, because you gave yourself a doable goal. You said, I can have the cookies and I'm going to have them now. I'm going to join with everything. And my goal is to not have them alone.
I think we do this to ourselves, right? We go on a diet, we lose some weight, and then we put it back on again. Then we go on a diet, we lose some weight, put it back on again. And I have a 15-year-old daughter. I don't really want her to see me say, no, I'm not having cookies. I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm not going to do this. And they're having a good time with it. They're like, oh, the cookies came. Normally I would dive right in and eat the cookies. So I dove right in and ate some cookies, and they didn't notice any different. And I just feel like that was the better, just trying to do things in moderation instead of all extreme. Speaking of, does anybody ever have to travel and fly? Because I had a pretty good experience of being stuck in the airport for literally 12 hours.
Oh my God.
And yeah, the food options were not awesome. You can still get a decent salad for sure at different places, but there's a vending machine in this airport in Baltimore. Yeah. And the vending machine has what looks like really good whole, like good, healthy options. It's like, I forget the brand. I'm never going to remember the brand, but I stood there and I studied it and I looked at nutritional labels and I got an overnight oatmeal cup that came out of this vending machine. And I also got a Greek yogurt parfait cup that came out of this. I mean, I was eating, it's like 2 meals essentially, but I'm like, nope, Emily says, if you're going to eat, eat. So I got both of those things and I sat and it was completely satisfying. I didn't feel bad about it. I ate in an airport and it wasn't a candy bar or a bag of chips or trail mix or so, I might get trail mix if I was feeling healthy someday, but it wasn't any of that. And it was good. It was good food. So it does exist. And it was this fancy big old vending machine thing with a computer.
Farmer's Fridge, right?
Oh, Mackenzie, thank you.
Farmer's Fridge, yeah, I think I've
That's what it
seen them.
is. Yeah. I
I,
think
but
that's
I never
right.
I never looked in them because I'm like, oh, vending machine. Yeah,
Mhm. Well, everything closed. That helped. And
that
it was
helps.
like we thought we'd be home
Desperation.
at dinner, and then it just kept getting delayed. And then it was a long time. And I was like, okay, if I don't eat now, then I'm afraid of what's going to happen with that other vending machine that's around the corner. So
Right.
anyway, that's just how it went down. But
That's really
Yeah,
good.
it's my hot,
That's really
it's my
good.
hot tip.
It's honestly some of the best food at the airport, unless they have like a good restaurant.
I didn't.
Not
I
just
would
health
not.
wise, like taste wise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It-
learn something every
I
day.
was really surprised by how good the oats were.
I love it. Holly's all excited
Yeah.
about it. That is awesome. That's really similar too to the Starbucks, like, get on the go if you're on the go stuff I posted. So that's great. I mean, because if we think about it, like the biggest thing we're working on here is habit change and eating 3 consistent meals a day that are mostly whole foods. Like that's really the biggest goal in drinking water, I would say, of this whole challenge. So that's fantastic, I think. Yay. Anyone else have anything to add before we sign off? Okay. All right, guys. Week 4, let's do this. And then week 6, I start adding in food again to your diets. No, I don't like to say diets, to your meals. There we go. Okay. All right. You guys are doing fantastic. I'll be in touch via text. Keep up the good work. I will talk to you all soon. Keep posting on Facebook too. It helps everybody. Thank you.